Good evening. In a time where the crypto market seemingly is looking at a catastrophic phase, Binance, Coinbase being sued by the SEC, Bitcoin down by the 900 points today, and looking very, very bearish to the untrained eye. I'm going to show you why the news, why Bloomberg, why most of social media, and also YouTube alike, might have the wrong idea of exactly what's going on. We've had a signal flash for the first time since August of 2022 on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. And this is a bullish signal. It's the first time that we've had this cross since August of 2022 when we had the death cross on the weekly time frame. So I'm going to show you that. And I'm also going to show you why it's important to keep a sound mind and not let your emotions dictate how you're looking at the charts. Not let a 900 point drop, not let the Dow being a little red or any of this, because this is the futures now. It's a little down, but not letting any of the red dictate what's going on. We need to pay attention to exact formations that are being created. And right now I can tell you, Bitcoin has a very, very, very interesting setup, and it might surprise you my take on it. So make sure you hit the like button, because I guarantee you, you're going to learn something here tonight. And we're going positive over negativity, because there's a lot of hate in the world, there's a lot of division, and there's a lot of people that are excluding instead of having the including. We want to include people, not exclude them. So it's our job in the comments to make sure that we're reaching out to somebody who might have a question, who might not understand things the way we do. Because if we do that, the bottom line is, and this is something we're not told, if we all have a collective thought process, and we all use that positive mind, we can connect our souls. We can connect with that positive. That positive vibe is contagious. And if we're all thinking on the same brainwave, beautiful things can be achieved in this community. So make sure you hit that like button. And I'm going to show you not just on Bitcoin, but XRP as well. Looks like it's going to a place where it might not have been since late 2021 to early 2022. We'll take a look at that after this. Hit that like button. Good evening, 7:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So what a day, what a game of optics, what a mind you know what. But I'm going to prove to you once and for all why, if you can keep your emotions in check, why, if you have a basic understanding of the charts, and why you can get a certain understanding of why some things might be transpiring across the news, and why some Hail Marys might be attempted by the SEC right now by going after any and every exchange they can get their hands on in the USA. That's why it's important to understand exchanges that are in Singapore, the ones that are out of the reach of the SEC, but already have their papers and already have good working standing order with the USA and have done everything by the books. So I want to start off with this before we get on the charts. I know I'm taking a left turn, but pro-Ripple lawyer exposes SEC's lack of legal precedent in XRP case, and this is very short. While the cryptocurrency community awaits the release of controversial documents as part of the lawsuit that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has filed against blockchain company Ripple, a lawyer has highlighted the agency's lack of evidence to support XRP as an investment contract. Indeed, legal expert and Ripple amicus curiae Johnny Deaton had earlier challenged the SEC to produce a single legal precedent that could relate to the case of Ripple and XRP, and the agency had failed to do that, just as he expected it would. He said in a Twitter post shared on June 7th. So I just wanted to read this, as I thought this was in very poor taste. So I've been doing a lot of, I do all my stuff for free. So I felt like this was in very poor taste. Manny, positivity over negativity. I don't appreciate this, and I don't want this kind of a vibe in the community. So I normally don't read the comments, but he says, please start the video on time and stop making us waste time waiting for you to get on. Respect our time so we may follow you. I do respect your time, but during the YouTube lives, unfortunately, as I talk about while I was going through that process, for anybody who doesn't know, the comments won't come through on the tablet all the time because there's a glitch. And when you're going live on YouTube, for whatever reason, the comments will glitch out a lot of times unless you're on a computer. So I pull my phone up and I tell everybody, please give me 60 seconds. So it is what it is. But I thought that was in very poor taste. So this is what Johnny Deaton said. I challenge the SEC in my amicus brief to cite a single case from any court ever that found an investment contract between a purchaser, e.g., individual XRP holder, and a promoter, e.g., Ripple, when there existed no privity, no contract whatsoever between that promoter and purchaser. I challenge the SEC to cite a single case between because I knew they couldn't and they didn't. So that's just something he said. So I always find it fascinating when they throw shots at the SEC. And then what I'm talking about with Bitcoin is I'll try to make this as painless as possible by not going for an hour. But with Bitcoin, first things first. We've got this signal right now, and it's not just a signal. In the weekly time frame, we've had the 20 crossing the 200 to reverse this, but now we've crossed back through the 50. That's a major signal here as we're starting to reverse this pattern in the short to midterm now. So we haven't come back through here, and you see we finished off a very bad death cross here, and it finally finished off right around here, which was in about August of 22. So it's been September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 10 months. We've been very bearish for 10 months. And then we finally came up. Now we have this inverted head and shoulders pattern, which looks like is being formed here. So I'm going to delete this, and we're going to go over this together real quick. So I can draw it. And I have the other chart, as everybody knows if you've been watching the channel for any length of time. It shows the short-term channel and everything like that, but I thought that'd be a little confusing if we're just going to go through and show you on the weekly, or if I'm going to go through and show you what I'm thinking on the weekly. So here's my analogy real quick for anybody who doesn't know. Let me move this real quick. So basically right here, imagine you're in the beach, everybody. You've got your elbow, right? Right now. That's the top part where your elbow could be. But that is not the elbow for now. That's not the example. Right now, it's kind of like your hands bent out like this, right? You're sitting back and your hands bent out, whatever. So that's like your hand folded backwards as you're laying on the beach. This right here is your elbow in the sand, right? That's your elbow in the sand. So your elbow's in the sand. Man, I'm so cozy. I'm at the beach. The waves, look at the waves in front of us. Oh man, this is beautiful. You know, you got the fish swimming by. This is fantastic. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. So you got your elbow and then you got the inverted head, right? Your head's back there. So you got the inverted left arm, like the elbow, but this is where the hand is like kind of fitted in. We could say, you know, a different way of putting it, but that's just how we're going to do it. So it's kind of like your hand sitting out, your elbow's right down there. So you got big arms, right? So, or long arms. So now your head, you got your elbow. Now you're kind of coming in here and you're waiting until you can pop up and finish this off. Now, you know what? A better way to put this. Yeah, we could just use the hand. Just use the hand because that's the best way to put it. So right now we've got like the elbow sitting around, right? This is like the elbow coming up in here, elbow. Now if it can come up here, because now we're sitting here, you know. Now we're trying to sit up and push out. So you got the inverted head, the inverted shoulders. Now we're coming up to finish this off. And then we got to come down like this. Now, it doesn't need to go all the way up there. That's the thing. Like, I don't want you to think that. But I think we could come up here. I think we could come up there. And that happens with a hold there. So just think about that. Just consider that. And yeah, that might not have been the best analogy. But it's a way for you to understand, like, both of these sides have to form the same on an inverted head and shoulders. And look what's already happened. So that very likely could, in fact, if this forms properly, it should bring us to here. But that wouldn't finish off the pattern. Technically, the top of this pattern would be a little bit higher. But we could be saying a technical target should be around 38,215. If this holds, and this actually does, it's going to come way up there. It could come way up there. Now there's a lot of layers to get through, as we know. We've got, if we go to the other chart, and this is not, it's going to be guaranteed, but this is if this plays true. If this plays true, this is a massive fake out, and a lot of fear and FUD, and not all of it's FUD, but there's a lot of fear in the market. And I mean, if you're asking me right now, a lot of people think we're about to have a massive dump. And when I typed in YouTube and was looking through Bitcoin and what people were saying about crypto, very fearful, which, and every right to be, talking about how with what's happening with Binance and how Coinbase gave 24 hours for everybody to get their stuff off. Remember, the ones that weren't named in the suit, the money's got to go somewhere. Just consider that. And if this is the case, wouldn't this be ultra bullish for Bitcoin if they're wiping off these securities? We already know Bitcoin and Ethereum have a back-end deal, and they're already running the way they want, decentralized, and they're saying that's fine. So they're obviously going to let Bitcoin run unopposed for now. So if you're asking me, that looks like a bull flag until it's not. And we would know something went terribly wrong if we lose 25,194, but ultimately 24,400. Remember, we have the CME gap at 21K, but we also have one at 30K. So, and we first need to get over 28,000. We get back over 28,000, something's happening. But the fact we've had this cross and hold here in the weekly is an ultra bullish signal, so don't think otherwise. All the rest of this, Bitcoin, I understand. Bitcoin's down $900. That's why I thought this would be a powerful time to do this. Down 3.24%. You wouldn't expect me to come on and be talking like this, I'm imagining. But I've been talking the same way on this pattern. Until it breaks, this pattern is still ultra bullish with the formation setup. It might just be an illusion. They might be tricking us. But a lot of times when people are screaming dump, 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 and a lot of times when the optics show one thing, you just look at the pure formation of a pattern. And on Bitcoin, we needed to pay attention to it because that's what it's looking like. And with XRP in the weekly, we could have a weekly cross here if we have another successful candle here this week. And XRP, again, is in a very, very interesting spot. It would move up to that 585 if we could continue moving up like we've shown that we have a little bit of strength. But this inverted head and shoulders pattern is still very real. We're still on this inverted head and shoulders. And until it breaks, we still have to acknowledge the fact that not only is the fact that it could get up to 60 cents or 58.5 cents, if I bring out my other chart that's not so drawn on, we can see a very clear, if this actually plays out, and I put the targets up here, if this actually plays out, and, you know, I might have to show you the other chart. Yeah, I'll show you the other one just because of the significance of what happened. Even though you can see still the substantialness of the way this is playing out. But let me bring out the other chart, and then I'm going to let you go because this is getting awfully long. So here's what we need to pay attention to, even if we look in the daily. Inverted head and shoulders on XRP. We have the descending triangle and or symmetrical triangle, or whatever you want to interpret this as, the breakout in here, right? The breakout. Let me get this out. So we had the breakout. Then we created the inverted head and shoulders pattern with the inverted head nonetheless on the breakout point. Massive breakup, huge consolidation, which essentially wipes out everybody who was basically in pre-pump, and they essentially sold probably somewhere in here. And now, if this plays true, not only would you come up here if this plays true, if this is successful, that's where, I'm going to bring out the other chart, that's where you would come up to these next levels. And that's if this plays true, but you need a break and hold of 58.5 cents, and also right around here at 60 cents, 61 cents, get on top of 65.50 roughly, and then you're off to the races. And I know it's a lot, but it's nice to get out ahead of this because the pattern is setting up that way. And I know it looks ultra bearish the last couple days, but a lot of times that's optics. Nothing's changed in the pattern. Like I said, if 50 cents remains a psychological level with XRP, something's going on. It didn't break through, so, and this is being, you know, this is being the positive in the pattern if it breaks up. If everything holds and it pushes up and this inversion plays out. If it breaks down and breaks the levels I've aforementioned, 50 cents, 494 and 482 for XRP, and it pushes down, we're in a lot of trouble. Just like with Bitcoin, if we lose 24,400, we're going to 21,000. So that doesn't mean that this is just going to happen, but this is something we need to watch. This is the formation setting up. And then I want to end it just showing you this one more time. I talked about the levels of the targets, and if we break that 65.60, it's right here. But then we've got 79.66 and about 85 cents. And those would be the legitimate targets if we could break up and out. And that's the top of these cup and handles, ironically. And you can see a very big pattern where we had a big breakdown, and that's a clear descending triangle that I have formed there. And this started all the way back here in August of 2021. The first hit down here on June of 21. So June of 21 on this descending triangle, then you got down here in March of 21. So this started March of 21. We didn't break out of this until 2 years it took us to break out of this descending triangle to the top side. I think we got to pay attention to this, folks. I think we got to pay attention to this. That's the descending triangle pattern. I've had it on here the whole time, and it's just more relevant now. If we break out now, that looks like a bull flag in the long term. Even over here, I mean, if this breaks up, we're looking at pushes up in here. This could be the start of something, you know. This could be the start. So we got to pay attention to it. That's why with sub 40 cents, we do what we got to do. I have an average. If you're paying attention and doing what I'm doing, you have an average of 35 cents. We make our first repurchase when it comes 20% below 35 cents because we've already got 10,000 plus tokens, which was our goal. We've got a myriad of other things that we were supposed to buy, but we still have 85% of our portfolios compared to 2021 when we sold out. If we follow this philosophy, if you're new, just pay attention to each and every update, and I'll do my best to get you into the loop. But this, ladies and gentlemen, very well could bring us up into here, and we could be looking at something massive. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Pay attention to all the downside risk. I'm not telling you to leverage your futures trade, but what I am telling you is don't sell. You don't sell. If it comes down 60% from here, buy more. We're not buying in the top of bull markets. But I'm just telling you right now, that looks like a nice V-shaped recovery, a W reversal, whatever you want to call it on that. And there was a lot of things I've shown you already, where we've hit the breakout points. And this is showing you from a 2-year pattern how it took 2 years to finally do that. Now it looks like we're actually on the breakout point. We've now had the retest on the breakdown of the pattern breakouts in the shorter time frames. That's the longer time frame, but you know the shorter time frames. We had a massive breakout and hold on that short term. It's a massive hold. Created the inverted head and shoulders. You see the long term, and you break out of this short term area, and you're off to the races and fulfilling that pattern that was a downturn in that descending triangle since 2021. Make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing and join Tom's Army. It's up to you so that I can continue to, and I will always do this, but it's because of you, not up to you, but it's because of you, the generosity of joining Tom's Army, that I can do this, that I am comfortable enough to put this all out for free and put out all this time. I would do it either way, but it's damn good feeling to see the ones who support the cause and keep that positive mindset that we've talked about. A lot of emotion going on. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think I'm onto something, or do you think this completely is out into left field?